Picture a machine so massive it's longer than the Empire State Building is tall. A machine that carries 5,000 people, has its own hospital, its own police force, its own zip code, and never has to stop for fuel. It can run for 25 years on a single tank. It's home to 90 aircraft, and it can appear off any coastline on Earth without asking a single country for permission. This isn't a city, it's a warship. This is the USS Abraham Lincoln, a nuclear-powered supercarrier and one of the most complex machines human beings have ever built. But how do you actually build a floating city that runs for a quarter century without refueling? Let's break it down. The Lincoln is the fifth ship in America's legendary Nimitz-class, the supercarriers that have defined U.S. naval power for over 40 years. She was commissioned in 1989, named after the 16th president, and she carries his words as her motto, straight from the Gettysburg Address, "Shall not perish." And the numbers behind her are almost hard to believe. She stretches 1,092 feet from bow to stern. She displaces over 100,000 tons. From the keel to the top of her mast, she stands more than 20 stories tall. And despite all that mass, she can slice through the ocean at over 30 knots, faster than most people realize a ship this size could ever move. So what powers a beast like this? The secret is buried deep in her core. Two nuclear reactors, and this is where a carrier becomes something almost magical. A conventional ship has to stop and refuel every few days. The Lincoln? Her reactors can run for 20 to 25 years before they ever need new fuel. Think about that. The ocean isn't an obstacle for her. It's just a highway with no gas stations required. And those reactors don't only drive the ship, they power everything. The radar, the living quarters, the medical center, and the machines that turn seawater into hundreds of thousands of gallons of fresh drinking water every single day. It's a self-contained, self-sustaining world at sea. But the real magic happens up top, on the flight deck. It's about 4.5 acres of the most dangerous, most carefully choreographed real estate on the planet. This is where the Lincoln launches and recovers her aircraft. FA-18, Super Hornets, radar planes, electronic warfare jets, helicopters, and now the F-35C stealth fighter. And launching a jet off a carrier is pure controlled violence. There's not enough runway for a fighter to take off on its own. So the ship uses steam catapults that grab the aircraft and fling it from 0 to around 165 miles per hour in about 2 seconds. Landing is even crazier. The jet slams onto the deck and catches a steel cable stretched across it, going from full speed to a dead stop in the length of a school bus. Pilots call carrier landings the hardest thing they ever do. And the crew on that deck, they perform this deadly ballet over and over, day and night, in a system so precise that every color of shirt they wear means a different job. Now, here's something most people don't know. A warship like this doesn't just last on its own. Halfway through her life, the Lincoln went in for one of the most extraordinary maintenance jobs in engineering. It's called a refueling and complex overhaul. And it took nearly 4 years and over 2.5 million hours of work. They cracked open the ship, replaced the nuclear fuel in her reactors, and rebuilt her from the inside out. New combat systems, new electronics, modernized top to bottom. She went in a Cold War-era ship and came out ready to fight deep into the 2040s. It's less like fixing a ship and more like giving a legend a second life. So why does any of this matter? Because a single carrier like the Abraham Lincoln can carry more air power than many entire countries possess. Wherever tensions rise around the world, one of these ships tends to appear on the horizon, not as an act of war, but as a floating statement. It's mobile, it's self-sufficient, and it doesn't need anyone's permission to be there. That's why they call the carrier the ultimate tool of presence. As the Lincoln sails toward retirement in the 2040s, a new generation of Ford-class supercarriers is already rising to take her place. But make no mistake, she remains one of the most powerful machines ever to touch the sea. The USS Abraham Lincoln, a floating city, a nuclear marvel, and a 100,000-ton reminder of just how far human engineering can go.